Hi, everybody. This is Gloria Davis, and this is a new little singular show, just me, titled Gloria is Speaking. This is my first episode of this. This is just going to be like just anything I have a thought of, I want to talk about, and I have an opinion about. I'll just do it on this one, Gloria Speaking. I have 10, this one will be about 10 fandom fails. Things that have upset me in the last couple of years, but mainly the last past year. There are 10 things that kind of upset me and made me, upset, kind of thinking about it, not losing sleep because of thinking about it, or kind of just not very happy about, or kind of like I just have beef with, or, just things like that. Even made me cry at times. So, no particular order, by the way. Just I'm going to name them off just as I wrote them when I was thinking the list up. Okay, here it is. Number one is no SETI in the iCarly finale, slash Sam and Cat being canceled before the SETI reunion, as in dating again. That really upsets me because us SETIers, I got a shirt of my Sam and Freddie shirt, my SETI shirt on, by the way. It upsets me because us SETIers, we got that whole wonderful arc of the 4 episodes. We call it the SETI arc, where Sam and Freddie actually were dating. And I mean, there were some things that were not perfect about it, but we got it. We got it. We waited so long for it, and it happened, and they were so cute together. And then they broke up, and it was such a sad ending that they broke up and stuff. But in the elevator, it seemed like they still had feelings for each other, even though they were breaking up. They were basically doing a Ross, pulling a Ross, on Friends. We were taking a break, kind of thing. But it seemed like they could have, that maybe in the future they could get back together. So us SETIers had hope that, the show wasn't over yet, so they still had a chance to get back together. And then guess what happened? Season finale came. There was a whole bunch of episodes before that where it kind of hinted that they still have feelings for each other, and that they were frustrated even about not being together. And then the season finale happened, and they didn't get back together. I mean, basically in the season finale, Dan Schneider, the showrunner, the executive producer, he even said it. He even had them kind of show that they had feelings for each other, even in that one. And then they didn't get back together. It was heartbreaking. And that was hard enough. And I cried. I cried for a whole week after, because I was depressed, and all the fans, all the SETIers even mainly, were upset about it and kind of lost faith in Dan and everything. But the thing that made it worse is the crediers, the ones that wanted Freddie and were terrible. They kept saying they won because there was a Freddie at the end and everything, and thinking they were together. They weren't, people. They weren't crediers. They weren't back together. They were not together. They were not together at the end. And the kiss Carly gave him was like basically a goodbye kiss. And with Freddie pumping his hands up, that wasn't because he liked her again. It was just him giving his younger self a pat on the back, because it would be what his younger self, like if his younger self could see him in the future, his younger self would have did that. So it was like basically him, giving his younger self a pat on the back kind of thing, because he does have feelings for Sam. And then, of course, then there was the reunion of Sam and Freddie in the Sam and Cat, the spinoff, where they did get to kind of, interact again. We got to have that hope that he would actually come on it. And then whenever he did, there was like that, it showed that they still have feelings for each other. They do. But it was kind of, short-lived, because it kind of ended ambiguously. I mean, it could be that they kind of went on a date, because she basically kind of did kind of ask him on a date. And because she says, when you're able to chew, we can go out, have dinner, and have some fun. Because their fun word, it means replaced with the word kiss. It replaces the word kiss, because in the elevator scene when they break up in iCarly, he said that the kiss in IOMG was intense and fun. So her saying that was like she was saying that they can go out and have dinner and have some kissing. So yeah. And then to kind of even further on, let that even be more true is that Robbie kind of asked his cat out in the same scene, and it was after her and Cat were like kind of saying about how which one they really liked of the guys. So yeah, it's ambiguous, but it was there. After that, they didn't. We were hoping that they would be back, that he'd come back on again. I mean, I don't know why Dan Schneider didn't just get them back together the first time he visited her, because I mean, if he'd known after that they weren't going to be able to finish it up, he probably would have, but he didn't get to because it got canceled after that. So whatever. But I mean, Dan Schneider has said that he is probably going to do a reunion movie, and that will be when he gets them back together, because it would be his last chance. He did it with Drake and Josh. He did movies with Drake and Josh after the show was finished, so he'll most likely do one of iCarly reunion too, and I'm thinking that's when they'll do it, since he didn't get to finish it up in the iCarly universe. They'll finish it up in the movie. So that's okay. That makes it okay. Hopeful. But it was depressing that it's going to take so long for it to actually come to fruition. So yeah. So that's one. Okay, the number two is the fake quote from Susan Collins about her regretting killing off Finnick Odair in the last book of the Hunger Games trilogy, Mockingjay. So it's like, what? I found out later that it was a made-up manipulation kind of picture of an article, because a lot of people realize that it wasn't her, because she has a certain way of talking when she does interviews and answering questions, Susan Collins. So she the way that it was quoted, it didn't sound like her, so it wasn't her. So she is not regretting that she killed Finnick. I'm not saying I'm happy that Finnick's dead. I'm just saying that it makes sense, because it is a story about war, and there are casualties of war in reality, and so she wanted to make it more real, like more based in reality, kind of make it real, make it seem real, realistic. And yes, it's sad about Annie and Finnick, their love story, kind of, that she lost him and everything, and the child being born without a father, and everything. But, it makes sense, because it makes their relationship bittersweet. It makes them more endearing to us, because we're sad about them, her losing him, and the child not being able to know his father and everything. But it still makes it more bittersweet. So it makes us, love it more because of it. I don't think if he had not died, I don't think we would love Finnick's character and Finnick and Annie's relationship as much if he hadn't died, because of it being so bittersweet. It makes us love them more. And I mean, yeah, unlike with Finnick compared to Prim's death was a necessary evil, because everything that happens with Katniss, the way she feels about everything in general after Prim's death, makes her how she is in the end. So it was kind of like it had to happen. Finnick had to happen, but not in the same reason. It's more that it was more making it reality, showing the bad things that happen with war and everything. But yeah, Prim's is pretty sad too, but Finnick is the one that, what frustrated me whenever I heard about it, and I was like kind of ticked off at first, but then I found out it was fake. So, but still, I'm just saying things that made me upset. Number three, oh man, Stephen Moffat, the head writer of Doctor Who now, his article, I haven't seen the actual article in the magazine, but I saw someone posting a little snippet of the article on Google Plus, and it kind of pissed me off, because it said in there that Stephen Moffat said Mrs. Who #4, and that River and the Doctor aren't really married, and that the marriage that happened in Wet in a River Song wasn't really real, and all that, and that he said, of course, he added that he's not going to say that they didn't consummate it. They did, and all that kind of stuff. But that just because he was a test selector and all that kind of stuff, that it wasn't real and all that. And the Doctor and Rose shippers were all up and happy about that. But he lies. Malfit lies. He's known to do that. He even said in the same article, he had contradicted himself. He said Mrs. Who #4, meaning he just said that she is a Mrs. and then he says that she's not. It's like, no, that makes no sense. Does he even watch his own show? Because he said multiple times, he says on that article, by the way, he says that the Doctor doesn't tell BBC everything. Yes, he does. He told them enough to know that him and River are married because he said it. He wrote it. The writers that he, has write with him for the show, different episodes, even they, write it. Multiple times he said on one episode, he said, I totally married her. He told Tasha Lim that. And then he told this little monk or some woman, or was it the guy? I can't remember, but he told them on a little mini-sode prequel thing before the Asylum of the Dalek episode. He said whenever the character was acting like, it seemed to him like he was flirting with them, and he's like, sorry, but I'm married. And then, of course, they act like they're married. They bicker and all that kind of stuff, and they are married. That's like, he lies. And then, of course, he says that. He says things like that, and then he does different. So, and actually, to tell the truth, I actually think he's doing it for a reason. I think he's actually kind of trying to do a J.K. Rowling kind of like upset people, and then he's going to make it like a payoff by making maybe the 12th Doctor have a more, canonized wedding, ceremony with her, maybe. I don't know. But I know that he's just saying that to kind of, rustle up some drama, kind of stuff. Because that's how Stephen Moffat is. #4, another Doctor Who one. On some, I hadn't seen it, but some fans said on some Doctor Who site that it said that Rose was the only woman that the Doctor truly loved. What? Like, no. Okay, don't get me wrong. I love Rose, and yes, the Doctor did love her, but she is not the be all and end all of the Doctor's love. He has loved before. And then one of the fans that was posting this, she said something about like that the Queen of Doctor Who and all that kind of stuff. It's like, if anyone's a queen, it's got to be his original wife, Susan's grandmother, or someone who's similar to him. Like, his original wife would most likely have been a Gallifreyan, not a Time Lord, but a Gallifreyan. And then River is part Time Lord, so she's more like him too. So it would be more like his original wife and River, more like as his queen than Rose. I'm not saying Rose is not great. I love her. She's a great character, and yes, the Doctor did love her, but she is not the only one that the Doctor loves. Trust me. I just, I understand it, and I understand that the fans of Doctor and Rose shippers are like really, wanting to grasp onto that. But I think that was just pandering, the article or whatever. And a lot of those sites that I mean, even if it's an official site, some of them could be edited by fans, like kind of like Wika and some of the other. They have a button on the different parts of the article that says edit, where the fans can change it. So don't always believe everything you read. Yeah. So that's that. Also, with the not only that, but also, and also in that same article, they said that they didn't do it and all that kind of stuff. But Stephen Moffat just said on the last article about that he's not going to say they didn't consummate. Yes, they did. I'm sure they did. And I still believe, I'm still one of those people who truly believe that she could have had a child by him. Because in Day of the Moon, she was sick. She felt sick. She felt like throwing up. She blamed it on the prison food, but she did feel like throwing up. Now, it could have been about the silence, but I doubt it. I think it truly was that she was pregnant because River wasn't the only one that was sick that day. It was Amy too, and Amy was pregnant. So I think it was a clue, like a hint, kind of subliminal message that she is also. And then Moffat has been asked once about it, like, what about the Doctor and River ever having kids? And he's like, well, I don't know. He's like, can you imagine what it'd be like to have kids on the TARDIS? And then he kind of laughed. It was an article thingy, or I think it was Twitter or something. And he said, he added to it. He's like, but yeah, we don't know. It's like, maybe, because we don't see all of their story, because there's so many stuff that they did, adventures and different aspects of their lives that we don't see, that we haven't seen. So they could have kids. So that goes with it, with saying that they have consummated their relationship. So, and she even hinted at it in Day of the Moon also, when she went down into the thing right before she got sick, or was it after, a little bit after, and she came back up and then went back down, and as she was going down, the doctor was like, be careful, and she's like, he's like, scream if you need help or anything. She's like, oh, don't worry, I'm quite the screamer. And she's like, there's a spoiler for you. She could have meant that she screams during, screaming during, So, but yeah, that's that one. 7 is J.K. Rowling saying, now this one's like kind of difficult to explain, but J.K. Rowling said on a thing that if Harry Potter was in the real world, that Hermione and Ron wouldn't have worked out. She did not mean that they aren't right for each other in her story. In her story, she said in that article, she said she wrote it the way she wanted it. She wrote it the way her dream was to write it. Her what her wishful thinking was, what she wanted to happen. She's the author. She wrote it the way she wanted it. How it was right in her world, in that world she created, the Harry Potter world. Now, in real life, that kind of relationship, the bickering, all that, sometimes it doesn't work out in real life. She was just trying to kind of answer some of the fans that were saying about how they didn't like the whole idea of Ron and Hermione together. But what she wrote is what she wrote. It's true. Yeah, she did say she agreed with some fans, said, yeah, if it was in the real world, it wouldn't have worked out. But it does her story, and that's what counts. So that was another one. The next one, I think I skipped one. Number 6 was Stephen Moffat saying that River's story was finished. He lies, like we've said a million times. He lies. He said the same thing about the Master being his story being finished, and guess what? He brought back the Master as Missy, the mistress. So River's story isn't finished. I think he was trying to kind of back our minds away from the possibility so that it would be a big surprise, kind of like lowering our expectations so he can bounce and have this giant surprise. But then later he did say he's not finished with her or Jack Harkness. So he kind of he changed his mind. He said that of course he's going to make sure it's a good story before he adds them back into it, but like make sure it's like not something like just a throwaway thing, but an actual big storyline. So we know that. I think he already has an idea, I think, for the whole River stuff, because I think there's some more, because he's put things about that aren't kind of finished up being told yet. Like the child thing, for one thing. But oh well. I think the next one is, the Mortal Instruments being recast. Now, I'm not saying that I'm upset about it becoming a TV show. Now, that aspect I love about it, because I am one of those ones that like to get as much information out of the story as I can when I'm reading the books or stuff. And I know there are scenes in the book that couldn't be put onto the movie because the movies can be only so long and the book has so much more information, and it's like that for every book turned into a movie. But with Mortal Instruments, they'll be able to expand on the scenes that weren't even in the book, that were like just mentioned in the book, like Simon and Isabel's first kiss. we'll be able to see that. They'll probably add that in there, like have Cassandra Clare write that scene for the TV series, and we'll be able to see that kiss, and then all the moments of Alec and Magnus, like Alec over at Magnus's house, all those moments that we didn't get to, actually read about. And then not only that, we'll get to see, even every little detail, not every detail, but every scene. They won't have to cut anything out or blend anything into one scene, like 2 moments into one. None of that for a TV show. So I'm happy about that. Don't get me wrong about that. I love that idea. But the thing I'm upset about is they'll probably have to recast the cast. And I love the cast of the movie. I know some of them aren't perfect, like, Valentine's hair was supposed to be blonde, and he's supposed to be more bulky, and Isabel's supposed to be taller, a little taller, but I loved how she looked. She had the look and the acting skills, so I was okay with it. And then Alec is older, Kevin Zegers, who plays Alec, he's in his 20s, but Alec is supposed to be 18, 18 in the 3rd book, and it's like he looks old. Kevin Zegers looks 20 in his 20s. When he's supposed to be playing younger. And and of course my friend even mentioned about, she told me about his eyes, like kind of, saying about his eyes were wrong, Chase's eyes. That makes sense, because why couldn't they have changed Jamie Campbell Bower's eyes? Like, why couldn't they have him have contacts? Because all those movies, like the Twilight Saga, with their eyes being important, Dex lenses for them. I mean, the budget, of course, allowed it. Mortal Instruments, they didn't even really promote it very much. So that's probably why it bombed in the theater. They would have had enough money to do that, because they didn't use the money for the promotion. Why couldn't they work with having his eyes change color, having it be the golden color it's supposed to be, instead of having him have his blue eye? It doesn't make sense. And then I think that was all of the reasons why. And besides that, every other character the actors were great. Except for, of course, those minor things. But yeah, the cast were great. And I also like the shipping, the couples. Jamie Campbell Bower and Lily Collins together, the way they look together, or Robert and I forgot the actress's name again, Jamina or something like that, West. The way they look together is done, Simon. And then even Luke and Jocelyn. Oh my goodness, they're so cute together. And then Magnus and Alec. It's like, come on, these actors are so paired up, so great. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Jocelyn and Valentine shipper, but even they look cute together, and they used to be together, back when she was married to him. So it's like, come on. And so if they recast them, it's going to be kind of hard to kind of get used to I'm never going to say never. I actually like the new cast, and that's one reason why it's like, come on, get to it. Kind of bring it about. Let us see who they recast as the characters. Because I want to see, because maybe I'll like a couple of them. I'm not 100% sure I'll probably like all of them, but I might like a couple. I'm actually hoping they actually try to get some of them back, because I know some of them are TV and movie actors. I can understand if they were all movie actors and they don't do TV, but some of them did. Jamie Campbell Bower, who plays Chase, he was on Camelot TV show, so he could do TV shows. Magnus, Aidan Turner, who played Luke, was in Being Human. And then, hang on a second. Sorry about that, guys. Had to talk to them. And then, where was I? Yeah, Aidan Turner was on Being Human. And then Lena Headey, the one that plays Jocelyn, she's on Game of Thrones. So it's like, come on, people. They're actually on TV shows. So they could actually do TV shows again. Oh, and Jonathan, who played Sebastian, or not Sebastian, I'm thinking about the future one. I meant Valentine. He was on Tudors. So that's a TV show. So come on, guys. If y'all did TV shows, do TV shows again. Do the Mortal Instruments, the TV show. Don't leave. Now, the ones that don't do just do movies, I can understand them not wanting, to move on to the TV show. But come on, they should if they're fans of the show and they support Cassandra Clare and they love the books and they want to do it justice and everything. They need to stay with it. I mean, I know there's a chance that not all of them will come back, but I would like it if some of them at least did. It'd be cool. But that one's made me cry, and I'm still kind of worried about that and all that. So it's like I think Magnus is Godfrey. Yeah, he's actually going to come back because why would they put him on the book cover of the Bane Chronicles if they weren't going to keep him as Magnus on the TV show? It's like, come on, it ruins the effect, because she used him as the model for the book cover of the Magnus Chronicles. Like, come on, keep them. Yeah, and there's some of them I'm more emotional about than others. Like I'm a big Robert. I'm a big Simon lover, the character. So it's like some of them are very even more than some. Like I'm very emotional about the Simon character. And then the Luke character and Magnus. I think those are the three, and Alex are the three that kind of really, and Isabel. See, I keep saying that, and then I'm like, name them all of them again. So it's like it's hard to kind of think of anyone else as the characters. But oh well. Okay, number 8. Going back to the Michael Jacobs killing off Sean and Angela's ship in Girl Meets World. Come on. Like, why? I mean, if anyone has ever watched Boy Meets World, they know what I'm talking about. Sean and Angela's relationship was epic. It was cool. It was great to watch. It was so strong and it's like, and then in the episode, Girl Meets, Master Plan, it's like, it seems like the writers are going to get him together with Katie Hart, Maya's mother. Now, don't get me wrong, that would be the one redeeming quality about it, that he actually will become Maya's stepfather. But I'm still an Angela and Sean shipper, so it's like it tears at my shipper heart there, because it's like, oh, come on. And in that episode, he mentions, Angela and says about, her leaving, and that, about how Maya's father left her and her mom, and that Angela, he's left because, of course, his father left first because they're always running off, mother, and he's running after her, and then his father died, so it kind of permanently left him, so that he's always getting left. But Angela didn't do it to hurt him, and the way he said it in Girl Meets World, it seems like he's hurting. I mean, I can understand he missed her and everything, but he's like acting like it's like she did it to hurt him. She didn't. She did it because she wanted to be with her father. Her father was needing her to spend time with him and want her to go with him so he could have that time with her, his daughter. So it's like, and then he understood it because he actually liked her father a lot and understood because he had just got done losing his father dying. And he didn't get to have that time with him. So he wanted Angela to have that time with her father, the time you could never get back. So of course, he understood and he was okay. He let her go. He told her to go. So I don't know why he says that then, and then in Girl Meets World, he's acting like she left him and that he's upset and he's missing her. But not, he shouldn't act like he's mad or like that she did it out of anger or not wanting to hurt him. She didn't, so. But yeah, I would like the idea of him as Maya's stepfather. So yeah. Okay, number 9 is Elena Gilbert having her memories wiped in the Vampire Diaries. Her memories of her and Damon's love story gone. That's upsetting, but I think there is a reason behind it. Because it kind of seems to me like they're falling in love with each other. I mean, he's already in love with her, but it seems to me like in the preview for the coming season and everything, it shows that they kiss. And I think, to me, since Elena did say that she's willing to try, the relationship start over and all that, that I think that she's going to fall in love with him again. And starting over, falling in love with him all over again, from anew, And And then I think she'll be able to remember. I think she'll get her memories back. And then what could that be said for the character, for the couple? I mean, it'll be one couple that everybody, all the shippers will get to say that their couple got to fall in love twice, or that she got to fall in love with him twice. Like, how many people get to say that they fell in love with fell in love with the person twice? And I don't mean just falling in love with them more, like every day, every time they do something, just the love grows. I mean, literally, she'll fall in love with them twice. First, the original time, because she got to know him then and fell in love with him. And then now that she couldn't remember any of the memories and she's getting to know him again, it's like it's happening all over again. She's getting to relive it. And not well, relive exactly, but getting to have a chance to fall in love with him again, all new. And then after, she'll get her memories back. So she'll remember both times of falling in love with him. So she'll have the memories of falling in love with him twice. So that, I love that aspect of it, but it's still sad and still not, it's still possible that it might not happen. She might just remember the last, and that's sad because the original love story was so epic and so beautiful. It's like, I don't want her to not have those memories. I mean, he does. I want her to be able to also. Sad. So I'm hoping that she'll get her memories back. And I also want her to fall in love with them now, too, so she'll have fallen in love with them twice. Okay. And the last one, number 10, is Herschel Green dying in The Walking Dead. Now, I mean, there's other deaths that I've seen. This one, I know there's one that's going to come up soon that people said there's someone going to die in an upcoming episode that I haven't seen yet. But the one that hurt me the most was Herschel. I was upset because I loved his character. I also was upset with Dell dying and Lori, but Lori I kind of didn't like as much, her character. It was sad because of her saying goodbye to Carl, and then the baby being born, not being able to be with her not being able to be with her child, hold her child and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, and then of course right before she died, she kind of said a goodbye to Rick, even though he wasn't there. So she didn't get to say goodbye to Rick, and it's sad. And Rick didn't get to say goodbye to her, so it's sad and everything. But that one, I mean, I cried, but it seems to me like I cried more with Herschel because I kind of could relate to him in a way that about the faith, because he was very strong in his faith and everything. So I think I cried more with him the most, and I think I don't know who dies in Coda, but I know the ones that are still alive after. So not all of them, but I know some of my favorite ones, like Glenn is my favorite. So I know he didn't die. But if it's a couple of the people I'm thinking, I'm not as upset about them. So it's totally Herschel. Herschel dying is the one that hurt me the most so far. And so yeah, and it's sad that his head was turned and everything. So Herschel dying was another fandom fell for me this year. So it's like frustrating to have a character that great die. So yeah. I mean, I know in the future if Glenn ever died, that would be the worst. But up until the point where I'm at now, Herschel dying. That was the worst for me. So okay there, guys. That was my 10 fandom fails for this past couple of years, but definitely the past year. Things, like I said at the beginning of the video, things that made me stay up, not getting any sleep, being upset, kind of down, upset, depressed, angry even, kind of pissed off, having a beef with somebody, and just, And I know it seems to me like there's going to be more. So this is going to probably be a one episode of many more to come, this kind of 10 bells, phantom bells. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments, leave them below, and subscribe to my channel. I have podcasts of different fandoms. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. Totally give me your opinions about the different bells. Talk to y'all guys later. Thanks. Bye.